Before you even think about trading crypto, stop. Seriously, watch this first. I'm 19 years old and I've already made over $2.1 million trading crypto. But I'll be honest, if I knew then what I do now, I would have saved months of stress and stupid mistakes that almost costed me everything. Because here's the truth, crypto isn't just some side hustle or internet fad, it's the new future of finance, the foundation of how money, markets, and ownership are going to work for the next generation. And with all the political news and institutions hopping on board, we are living through a financial revolution in real time, and most people have no idea how to navigate it. That's why in this video, I'm going to share the lessons I wish someone had told me before I ever clicked buy, the things that separate the ones who make life-changing money from the ones who lose it all. Let's get into it. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. These are just my personal opinions on the market. So first, let's start off with the bigger picture. So why are you actually doing this? Now, crypto isn't just about stupid memes, coins, or rotation of hype and attention. It's the biggest financial shift since the creation of the internet. And what a lot of people don't actually realize is that the asymmetrical upside that exists right now will only exist while we're still in this early stage. As more and more of these bigger institutions start coming in, as we start getting more regulation, as the space really grows, these once-in-a-lifetime asymmetric bets start disappearing. And a good reference for this that I talk about a lot is the dot-com bubble of the 90s. So back in the 90s, you could have bought companies like Amazon or Apple for literal pocket change. And a lot of people didn't take them seriously. They thought the internet was a fad. And yes, a lot of companies went to zero, but the small percentage that actually survived went on to create trillion-dollar empires. And that's exactly where we are with crypto. Right now, you can put in a couple $10,000, maybe even a couple $1,000. And if you are in the right play, turn that into life-changing money. But that type of opportunity does not last forever. And here's the truth. With the existence of opportunities like these, the space becomes extremely volatile. Leading narratives change all the time, whether people start liking memes, utility, AI. Sentiment changes all the time with people flipping beliefs from one side to another, and all of it just vanishes really fast. And what I'm about to tell you might contradict a lot of what you see, but your edge as a trader isn't about putting all your eggs in one basket and looking for the next Amazon or that once-in-a-lifetime winner. It's about adapting to this volatility and the constantly changing opportunities that emerge because everyone is chasing the idea of that golden winner. What's my point here? Why am I telling you all this? Number one, you need to be educated on the space before these opportunities disappear. And number two, as I stated, this space is volatile. And that volatility is both the opportunity and the risk. Countless opportunities for large wealth will arise in crypto, but you need to stay flexible to actually capitalize on them, and that what works during one period might not later. For example, in my journey to crypto, there was a 2-week period after 6 months of trading where I turned my last $500 into $104,000 by trading purely new coins. I'd sit on my terminal, well, this is Axiom, but I was trading on Photon back then, and stare at every new coin that was made for sometimes 18 hours a day. Right now, however, trading these new coins aren't as profitable due to oversaturation and just overall poor sentiment around them. And a lot of traders who had similar stories to mine are currently losing money trying to chase that same feeling of making 100x's, 200x's from pennies from these new coins with smaller market caps. Whereas right now, more established, higher market cap coins centered around utility are performing much better. But these are the complete opposite of trading new pairs. You're not sitting on a terminal all day. And these moves take much longer to happen, and even finding these coins require more in-depth research. So my point in all this is that you need to be ready to adapt. So how do you actually adapt to this volatility? And the answer is actually pretty simple. You just have to constantly stay updated on the timeline. And that's my next piece of education before you trade crypto. This market is something you need to be aware of 24/7. Whenever you're eating, you're breathing, you're taking a shit, you need to be thinking about the market, because this market moves at the speed of information. A coin's Twitter getting a follow from an influential person, or a powerful institution suddenly announcing that they're backing a coin. All of this can happen in literal minutes. And being late to these kind of shifts can put you at a major disadvantage. And here's what I love about this space. Everything is public. There are very few closed doors in this space. There's no such thing as a secret Wall Street report. While yes, insider plays do exist, but you have no edge in these kind of plays anyway, so why are you even worrying about them? We need to capitalize on what we can. Information on nearly every single coin, the team, stats, if they have any tokenomics, like a flywheel, revenue, every single trend, it's all out there, on chain and online for everyone to see. That means the same information I use to make my money is also available to you. The difference is whether or not you can identify that information early and act on it. For example, I have this coin Spark pulled up right here. It's on a retrace right now, but it hit almost a $7 million market cap. I can open up their Twitter, I can enter their page, go to the following list, scroll all the way down, and would you look at that? Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is following the coin's Twitter page. Has he actually publicly endorsed it yet? No. But the fact that he's following that page alone is going to garner an extreme amount of attention and will reflect on this coin's chart. No hidden information there. If you were actually updated on the coin's Twitter, you would have been updated on that. So your job as a trader is to practically live on the timeline. You need to be updated about every single thing that's going on. So what does that mean? You need to follow the right people on crypto Twitter. Don't drown yourself in 100 random reply farming accounts. You want to curate some very specific accounts that can spot trends early, or if you think they have good information to give, or if you think they're influential, like Bezos right there, because noise is one of the biggest killers in crypto, and filtering that out is extremely important when it comes to both coins and information. Next, you want to pay attention to oversaturation. In crypto, for every leader that takes up all the mind share, there are so many copies that follow it. And every time this happens, the next copy becomes less and less valuable. And I'll bring up an example later in this video on another section that will explain this concept pretty perfectly and help you understand it. And finally, you want to update your strategy constantly. Once again, you need to play around volatility. What worked last month might not work this month. You need to be willing to pivot. You might be right then, but wrong later. And the traders who actually survive this are the ones who just take in new information. They are constantly aware of whatever is happening on the timeline. And this is also a big reason why you can't really treat crypto as kind of a little side hustle. If you're spending a very small part of your day actually consuming information on crypto and you try to trade the market, you're going to be left behind. This is an attention market. If you don't know what utility is popular right now, if you don't know a narrative is popular right now, how are you going to trade this information if you don't even know what's happening? You are going to be put at a major disadvantage. And crypto is all about creating an advantage or an edge for yourself. Because at the end of the day, trading isn't just about all these charts or these numbers. It's a psychological game. And the truth is, everyone is different. You can watch every video, read every thread, study until your eyes are bleeding. But at the end of the day, you need to figure out what is my edge. And especially when the market is slower and slower times will appear. Crypto is not always just some infinite money glitch that's active 24/7. You need to train this edge to rewire your mental framework so you're constantly asking, how do I create an advantage for myself? You want an opportunity where you're unfairly ahead of everyone else. And going back to my previous points, edge is something you need to keep volatility and awareness in mind for, because edge doesn't last forever. It's always changing. For example, in the early stages of the Solana trenches, so this was when everybody was trading new coins like I mentioned earlier, all a coin needed to go up was a Telegram community. It needed to be centered around some kind of meme and pay for a promotion on this terminal called Dex Screener. That was it. And as long as you were early to that, you made money. And then came Twitter trackers, snipers, other tools that pretty much leveled this playing field. And now that edge is gone. You need these kind of tools to even stay competitive in the first place. And the same thing happened when AI coins became really popular. All an AI coin needed back then was a docs developer and some kind of concept. That's all you needed, and these AI coins would run to millions. And if you could just spot that on the coin's Twitter earlier than everyone else, you could have made hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Now you have utility coins with actual businesses behind them, making actual revenue, not even hitting those same numbers as before, because everybody already knew how to identify these utility coins. And this is why you always need to look at context and look for an advantage. You need to be training your brain in the market constantly, especially when there is a period of slowness. What gave people who were early an advantage then? You need to identify that, because when the next big leading narrative spawns, and it will, you'll already be wired in enough to spot this edge while everybody else is still clueless. Because as I said, crypto is ever changing and volatile. So you need to build a habit of thinking in advantage. And that's what separates consistent winners from everybody else. So what are some immediate lessons you can apply right now? Off the top of my head, number one, you want to be early, right? Thanks, Captain Obvious. But being early is still the single greatest edge in this space. And that all really comes to just staying active. Anytime something interesting catches your eye, go do some research, go look into it. That could be your chance to become early. Number two, start processing stuff faster. Also really obvious, but once again, everybody has access to the same public information that I demonstrated earlier. And the edge comes from how quickly you can filter out the noise and actually find something that's going to bring attention and then make a decision. A lot of people drown in this data. They don't know what to look for. So make a system of actually doing research and knowing what to look for. For example, I can move off this presentation, open up Axiom right now, go down the list, look at any single coin that's getting volume right now in the migrated section. Open up the Twitter page for this coin, artificial superintelligence. Okay, this coin is made from this tweet from this guy saying artificial superintelligence might be a very big thing. Why is this getting attention? I go to this guy's Twitter, and I can see from the account, solid crypto mutuals, it looks like this account has a lot of clout. But at the end of the day, I know this is only getting attention because utility is a super hot thing right now, and this influential guy tweeted this buzzword, and now people are buying this coin thinking they'll be part of some kind of trend of artificial superintelligence. No product behind it, nothing noteworthy, and the only way this coin goes up is if someone super influential or a massive KOL actually backs this up, saying they really believe artificial superintelligence is going to be a huge thing, and they publicly endorse this token, which is not going to happen because they wouldn't tie this reputation to this coin with very little potential. See how fast I just processed all that public information on this one coin I took literally a second to look at, and then made a decision of not buying. You need to be able to process as quickly as I did. And to do that, you need to look for context in every single coin. Don't just ask, is this coin good? You want to ask yourself, how good can it realistically be? And the points that will lead up to the answer. Every single coin has a ceiling. Knowing when something is a hold versus a buy versus when it's time to sell is the most difficult process of all. And that only comes from training yourself to read narratives, sentiment, and just timing it better than the next guy. And that leads me to the final piece of advice that you need to know before you start trading crypto. Not every win you make in this space is a good win. And it's something a lot of beginners don't actually realize. Yeah, you might make double your money on some random meme coin that has no narrative behind it. You might even catch a couple multiples, but if you made that money by just giving into FOMO and top blasting buying the hype with no thesis, no plan, and you got lucky, what did you actually learn? Absolutely nothing. And these wins are dangerous because they trick you into thinking you figured something out. You know, you start believing the market is always going to bail you out. You think this is some kind of infinite money glitch. And that false confidence is exactly what leads people to just blow up on the very next trade they take. If I go on Axiom right now, I buy this coin called Francs. It's a coin of this cartoon frog and a play on the word stonks. Haha, very funny meme. There's some frog edits here too. But at the end of the day, this is just another community coin with no actual value. What future bull catalyst does a coin called Francs have? What edge do I have in this kind of trade? Nobody in the world besides the people who are actually behind this, the insiders, can actually value this kind of attention. And if I buy this coin right here and it magically goes up from some KOL buying in, yeah, sure, I made money, but I learned nothing out of that trade. There's nothing I can take from this trade moving forward and actually apply later on. And if you do have something to take out of this trade, once again, very bad sign. That's going to create false confidence. And this is where the bigger picture comes in. Remember, the goal isn't just to walk away with some pocket change from a lucky pump. The real goal is to build a skill set that prepares you for the future of finance, to learn how to operate in this new system while it's still early, so that when the industry is fully fleshed out and everything, you're not just sitting on the sidelines like an idiot. You're someone who actually navigated it well and created a large sum of wealth. So my point here is, don't judge yourself only by how much you made on a trade. Judge yourself by whether you are building an actual habit or a skill that will keep you in this game long term, because you are here to master this space and change your life. That's all you're here for. If you're serious about fully preparing yourself for the new future of finance, I've officially opened the Fortune Inner Circle, where me and other 7 and 8 figure traders will be providing the most hands-on help in the entire trading space. We have students like Bayside, who at just 15 years old, we've scaled to a 300K portfolio, or Tony, who was a student in debt in university and just recently hit his first 10K month with us. If you're ready to take that step, click the first link in the description down below to fast track your crypto journey to the top. Thanks for watching and peace.